Hello students. In our last lecture we had talked about leadership. In our today's lecture we are going to talk about communication. Communication is the exchange of messages between people for the purpose of achieving common meanings. Unless common meanings are shared, managers find it extremely difficult to influence others. It means communication is the exchange of messages. If one person has information to convey to a group of people or to a person, he has to use some common meanings. Common meanings means which will be well understood by the other party also whom the message is being shared or being sent. Whenever a group of people interact, communication takes place. Whenever a group of people interact, it means when two parties are there or three parties are there and they are exchanging their thought process, and they are negotiating. So there is a communication which takes place. Communication is the exchange of information using a shared set of symbols. It means when two parties are communicating, it is important that they should use the shared set of symbols. It means those symbols, those languages, those things which will be well understood by the another party as well. So the common meaning should be sent also, and the common meaning should be adopted by the group. So it is the process that links group members and enables them to coordinate their activities. In an organization, various kind of activities takes place. So with the help of communication, the group members interacts with each other. They understand their thought process, they understand the work which need to be taken care of, and they interact and coordinate with each other so that the task can be completed. Therefore, when managers foster effective communication, they strengthen the connections between employees and build cooperation. So whenever the manager has to foster the effective communication, whenever he wants to make the communication effective, the first thing which they do, they strengthen the connections between employees and build cooperation. It means how to make a good connection between the employees who are working together, and so that the effective communication can take place and the exact meaning of the information should reach to the employees. So in short, we can say that communication is a process, and if the process breaks down, communication will fail. So in this lesson we are going to learn about the communication process. We will also discuss the noise which can disrupt the communication process. So communication is the process of conveying information between two or more people, and the communication process is the steps we can take in order to achieve a successful communication. So let's understand this communication process. The communication process consists of several components. Okay, so these are the components: source, encoding, channel, decoding, receiver, etc. So the source means sender. It is a party that sends a message. So the person or the sender will also need the message to encode, which is the information to be conveyed. Like the sender should have some information which he wants to share with the receiver. Then that message he encodes. Encodes means like when I'm speaking to you, I'm encoding my message to you. So a channel of communication, then comes the channel of communication. It must also be selected, which is the manner in which the message is sent. Channel of communication includes speaking, writing, video transmission, audio transmission, electronic transmission, like through emails, text messages, fax, and even non-verbal communication sometimes, such as body languages, when you do a thumbs up. So it is also a kind of message which we are communicating with the help of a channel. So then comes, after this channel part, the decoding happens. So the receiver must be able to decode the message. It means if I am telling you in some code, like suppose in your class you have kept someone's name, and the person, a group of people knows that you people have kept someone's name, like bookworm or something. So what happens, only those people who know this encryption, they will only be able to decrypt when you are talking about that person. Rest all will not understand, because the common meaning has not been shared. So when we talk about decoding, which means like mentally processing the message into understanding. If you can't decode the message will be failed. For example, let's see, sending a message in a foreign language that is not understood by the receiver. Like someone is saying something in Spanish, he is a very good communicator, speaking nicely, but we as an audience are not understanding because the common meaning is not shared. It means the sender is encoding the message with the help of a channel, but we as a receiver are unable to decode the message. Okay, so then there is one more thing which comes, that is feedback. When the sender sends information to the receiver, then in return the receiver gives the feedback. So sometimes a receiver will give the sender feedback, which is a message sent by the receiver back to the sender. For example, a member of a team may provide feedback in the form of a question to clarify some information received in the message. Like a meeting is going on and the messages are shared, but maybe that the members in the meeting, someone is not understanding and have asked a question. When he has asked a question, it is a feedback for the sender to repeat his thing so that it will be easily understood to everyone. Now, if we just move further, so now we can talk about few barriers of communication. Barriers of communication is the noise. Actually, noise means when the communication do not take place properly. So these are the things which are called barrier of communication. The barriers of communication may be of different types, and it may occur at different point. Like whenever we talk about communication barriers, actually people refer it to the noise, and noise may be any obstruction that is caused by the sender, message or receiver during the process of communication. For example, we are talking to somebody and bad telephone connection is there. So, or you are making a WhatsApp video call, and due to the poor internet connection, the proper transmission is not taking place. So it may be the technical interruption, it may be faulty encoding, that the sender has only encoded a message which is not correctly encoded. It may be faulty decoding, it means sender has correctly sent the message, but we as a receiver could not decode it properly. It may be inattentive receiver also. There are many receivers who are physically present in this event but mentally absent. So if the receiver is somewhere, so he will not receive the things what is being sent to him, whatever information is being sent to him. Then poor understanding of message due to the prejudice or inappropriate gestures may also be one reason of this noise. Let's see what kind of barriers may come when the communication process takes place. So one is filtering. Filtering refers to a sender manipulating information, so it will be seen more favorably by the receiver. It will be seen more favorably by the receiver. So just now we talked about the faulty encoding. It means the sender only manipulate the information. Like if you see different news channels filter out the information and show the information to their target people according to their liking about a particular political party, say for example. So if a channel is supporting Congress, he will be filtering the messages like that, so that those information which are against which are in favor of Congress should be reached to the target audience. Similarly, if a channel is supporting BJP, so they will also filter out the information accordingly, so that the encoding of the message will take place in a way so that it will have a positive impression on the receiver side. Then selective perception. Selective perception means seeing what one wants to see. The receiver in the communication process generally resorts to selective perception. That is, he selectively perceives the message based on the organizational requirements, the needs and characteristics, background of the employees, etc. Say for example, a company's chairman is taking a meeting and he is talking very he's talking about various modern techniques, and in a very fancy scenario he is talking about the things which should take place in the organization. But downside, at the bottom of the organization, if you see those people who actually interact with the direct customers, or who interact with retailers or wholesalers, they understand or they know somewhere that whatever may be the things which is being communicated, they may look fancy, but at ground level it may not work. So the receiver becomes selective in his perception that all these things are not going to work in our organization, or all these techniques are not going to be accepted by the customer or the distributor, something that sort of. Then emotions. Emotions, how the receiver feels at the time of receipt of information, influences effectively how he interprets the information. It means how the receiver feels at the time of receipt. Suppose you are in a very good mood, then whatever is being said to you, though it is little complicated, we will try our level best to understand the things. But if we are in a bad mood, so even if somebody says something good, we will just, we will not take it positively and rather start arguing with the person. Then comes the language. Language is very important. Communicated message must be understandable to the receiver. Few minutes back we just saw that a sender is sending a message in Spanish, but that Spanish language is not understandable by the receivers. So what will happen? Because of this language, the noise will be created and the proper communication will not take place. Then comes your stereotyping. Stereotyping is the application of selective perception. When we have preconceived ideas about other people and refuse to discriminate between individual behaviors, we are applying selective perception to our relationship with other people. It means like when we talk about if you see this stereotyping is different with the halo effect. Stereotyping actually occurs when we judge all people of a certain group by preconceptions that we have about their group. For example, we may see a group of people on the road and we may feel that all these people may be rowdy, but it might happen that all are not they all are not rowdy kind of people, rather few of them may be the sophisticated ones also. And whereas when we talk about halo effect comes into play when we take one attribute of a person and we use it to form our overall impression of the person. It means we saw just that a person is studying all the time, so we have drawn an impression that his personality will be so good and he will be a very studious person, he must be gaining a rank in the class and all. Then comes your status difference. Status difference is the organizational hierarchy posed